Oh man, you asked me to pick a number. I'm just gonna say when I was little, and when I could start holding a pencil was when I started to really draw. And I love Saturday morning cartoons. That helped. So if I had to put a number on it, I'd probably say 7. When I was 7 or 8. I had just finished school and I was looking for work. I was introduced to a kindergarten teacher. I was introduced to a teacher who had an idea for a children's book but needed someone to illustrate it. And she actually worked at my old grammar school. My cousin was there and was like, oh, my cousin illustrates books. Why don't you get in touch with him? So I met with this teacher and I helped her write her book. And it was through that process of working on someone else's project where I was like, this is kind of easy. I should probably do this. And that's when I was like, oh, what kind of story can I tell? And so that's sort of how it came about. It was an accident because I wanted to do all kinds of stuff, but the children's book thing, it sort of came up, and then I thought it was easy, and I thought it'd be fun to contribute to children's literature and all that stuff. So
happy accident.
Happy accident for sure. This page was really fun. I wanted to see if I can capture dramatic tension in comic book panels, nerve-wracking types of scenes you would see in a slasher flick. So with my first children's book, after I did the teacher's children's book and decided I wanted to do my own, I looked into how do I literally went on Google and was keep in mind this was 8 or 9 years, or 10 years ago, and I typed in how to make a children's book, and stuff came up, and one of the things I saw was that sort of on the rise was print on demand publishing, and there are these companies that were offering, hey, we'll publish your book for you, and just send us the files and all this stuff, and some of that can be shady, but I did my research and I found a place called Create Space. They do print on demand publishing, so I went through them, and they also got to put my book on Amazon. So then I had that way to reach a mass audience because it's on Amazon. Everyone goes to Amazon. So I went with them, and the actual process of getting the book made, when I decided I wanted to do children's books, I bought a bunch of children's books, sort of looked at the format. Design plays a big key to those because it's not just pictures and words, especially if you want to stand out. There's a lot of design aspects and graphic design that I didn't think would be involved in making a children's book. So that was part of the challenge. So that is my newest children's book. I put it out at the end of March, beginning of April. And it's a book in 3 parts. It is the last When I Was Little book, because When I Was Little was a children's picture book series that I did right out the gate. And it's an illustrated look at my childhood. I liked the idea so much that I ran with it 3 times. So I did a sequel, which was called When We Were Little, or When I Was Little 2, T-O-O. And then I did a 3rd book. I was asking fans of the series to submit a childhood memory of theirs. So it wasn't about me anymore. It was about them, and I called that When You Were Little. And so I was coming up on my 10th year of self-publishing and making stuff, and I wanted to go back to the well. But what I wanted it to be was a celebration of those 10 years. So not only is it the last book, but it's also a best of book, which I did new art for some of the older pages and I put into that book. And then it's also a collaboration, an anthology. So over the course of 10 years of self-publishing and making things, I've met some really cool creative people, some writers, some artists, just really cool creatives that I've grown to appreciate their talents and call them friends. And I wanted to showcase them. Yes, because kids have crazy imaginations. They tell you the weirdest things. I just released a one-page comic called Juju in the Jungle, which got nominated for as a finalist for the Ghost City Comics competition. And that generated from just hanging out with my niece, and like she had a vivid imagination, and she's like, "There's a unicorn." And I'm like, "Where? Like, what are you pointing at?" And so just playing with the kids and just having, again, conversations with kids, like they just like, I can tell you about. Okay, so the last thing that's sort of out now is this company called Printed in Blood. They did, in celebration of the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's horror classic The Thing, they put together an art book featuring like over 300 different artists, all drawing their interpretation of The Thing. And so that was the last thing I got to be a part of. It was awesome because there's like so many different artists in there, from like Sarah Richardson to Eric Powell, and there's a foreword by the filmmaker Eli Roth.
Oh, wow.
And John Carpenter himself actually did a thing for the book. So it's like a really fat book, and they just premiered it at San Diego Comic-Con. So in a way, I kind of was at San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, so that's out now, and you can purchase it on their website. That was the last sort of big thing that I did, and then also the one-shot comic that just got nominated, Juju in the Jungle. So those were like sort of the last two big things that I put out there. In order to achieve my goal is to break it down into steps or sections. So say if I'm illustrating a book, I'm like, okay, I want to have this done by this week. That is the easiest thing to set up. It's also the hardest thing to do because things happen, life happens, things come up, and you're trying to hit your personal goals. That's hard because at some point you'll know whether you made those goals too ambitious or you didn't do enough. And as an artist, as an independent creative, that is the struggle. Like you're constantly down. So when you don't hit that goal, right? And you set the goal yourself, then there's like a blowback of a few days where you're just down in the dumps and you hate it, and you hate what you're doing, and then you just push the project even further along. So it's a constant struggle to maximize your time, but also minimize how much, like, be real with yourself and how much you can do. I do attend them. I feel like they are part of the business of making comics, and especially being an independent artist and a self-publisher, it's important to, go to these things and just promote yourself and promote your ideas. And from there, by promoting yourself and what you do, you are networking and meeting other like-minded creatives. most important thing I tell specifically to young artists that want to pick up a pencil and start drawing is to draw every day. Whatever you're passionate about, whether it's music, writing, painting, do it every day. Even on days when you don't feel like doing anything, do it. If there's something you don't like drawing, like if you don't like drawing environments, draw it. Even if you don't want to, it's gonna look like garbage, but you do it every day. And I feel like the theme of this interview has been consistency. And I'll leave with that, is just draw every day. If you're passionate about it, it won't seem like a job to you. It won't seem like work. It's just like, it should become part of your routine. So I always tell artists that, like, if you're not feeling good about where you're at with your art, then you just have to keep doing it until you do. And even then, when you feel like you're the best at what you're doing, still draw every day. Yeah. This is Justin Castaneda. I am at whenuwerelittle on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm here at Rockstar Studios, and you're watching Urban Matrix TV.